Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth, as always, is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. How about yourself, buddy?
I am doing wonderful. We are here with the League of Outlaws IMCA Style Modified Series. We are at the I-55 Speedway, and tonight is going to be double features night. 50 laps apiece, 2 features. We got a couple of heat races coming up. Right away, looks like 10 drivers signed in for action. Couple of heats also to kick off tonight's events here at the I-55 Speedway. And I believe event 19 of this season. Nearing the end, believe it or not, Tim.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I can pull it up on the League of Outlaws website real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe there's a couple between tonight and 2 more weeks of racing, and then we'll crown a champion here in this season. Other big news on the channel, want to welcome in Richard Murtaugh Racing Academy, sponsoring us here on the Buckeye Racing Network. So pairing them up with Premier Racing Setups. Richard Murtaugh is the owner of Premier Racing Setups as well. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for our first heat race of the night. 5 drivers apiece in each heat. Row 1 in Heat 1 is going to be Robert Floyd in the 02 and Tyler Bickford in the 07. Row 2 is going to be Matt Pridgeon in the 14 and James Murphy in the 65. Our points leader coming into tonight. Row number 3 is going to be AJ Hunsinger in the 33 machine.
So we have 2 features tonight, double feature night, and then we're gonna have 2 more races over the next few weeks, and that'll end this season.
And it's been a long season. If you go all the way back, I believe we kicked this season off way back in October of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. It's been quite a lengthy season.
Correct. October 20th, we were at Cedar Lake. That would be week 1. James Murphy won that. He struck 6 times straight until Derek Darnell knocked him off the pedestal in week 7 at Kern.
Absolutely. Bickford's got a win in there as well, but James Murphy has definitely been dominant this season as the green flag's waving in heat race number 1. Robert Floyd, Tyler Bickford charged down into 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway for the first time, Tim.
Yeah, they wasted no time. We got drivers, mainly looks like they're using the higher end of the track. Bickford all the way around the cushion. And you also have Robert Floyd, who's just trying to wrap around that bottom, just trying to draw even. He is actually drawing even with him, as James Murphy almost slid right into the back of Tyler Bickford.
Yeah, Murphy's definitely closed the advantage, and Floyd and Bickford right there in front of him running side by side doesn't leave Murphy anywhere to go. He's going to try to find a way around. As Bickford with a slight advantage into 3, contact between Robert Floyd and James Murphy. Murphy gets put into the outside wall. He has to gather it back in. Hunsinger and Pridgeon make contact a little bit. Hunsinger on the inside, Murphy now on the outside, as James is going to try to work his way back around Hunsinger to put himself into the 3rd spot. 3 to go at the line this time. Very tight racing for the 3rd spot. Single file, 1st and 2nd. Keep an eye on the battle here for 3rd.
I was just going to say, looks like Tyler Bickford and Robert Floyd swapped lines. They both, well, this time going through 3 and 4, they both elect to the high side, along with James Murphy, who gets passed by AJ, running that very low line. They're electing to run the bottom as the rest of the field runs up high.
Tyler Bickford crosses the line there. Checkered flag wins heat 1. Robert Floyd will be 2nd. Like you said, Hunsinger did work by James Murphy. He takes 3rd. James Murphy 4th, and Matt Pridgeon rounds out the field there in the 5th spot in heat race number 1. Now we'll take a look at the starting lineup for our second heat race and final heat race of the night. It's going to be Mason Bistodeau and Tate Waugh on row 1. Row 2 is going to be Colton Oaks and Mason Setting. In row 3, there's going to be Jared Murphy. As the field now begins to roll. Tell you what, each and every time we come to I-55, it does take a lot of rubber. I mean, if you look, especially that camera shot we just saw into turn 1 and 2, now into turn 3, you can see just how dark the racetrack is in the middle part.
Yeah, it's always an interesting track. It always seems to provide great racing, though.
Yeah, it absolutely does. The past couple shows we've had between SRA, the League of Outlaws, have put on some awesome shows for us here on the Buckeye Racing Network. Pace truck is off. Green flags in the air. Mason Bistodeau leads us into turn 1 here to start our second heat of the night. Colton Oaks tried to slide across the nose of Tate Waugh and barely made it, as there was pretty heavy contact between the two. Jared Murphy's trying to squeak by down low, Tim.
Yeah, that was a very close call. As Jared Murphy looks to the inside of that 210 machine of Colton Oaks. Jared Murphy, I believe, beat him to the line that time. Mason Setting trying to follow Jared Murphy. As you have that 33 machine just take long, trying to hold on to that 4th place position.
Yeah, Tate's trying to hold on, but Mason Setting worked his way by in the 110, now puts him into the 4th spot. Jared Murphy, P2, Colton Oaks in 3rd. Mason Bistodeau still leads the way about 0.7 of a second ahead of the rest of the field. Working right through the middle part of the racetrack. Jared Murphy all the way up on the cushion. Colton Oaks and the rest of the drivers as well, all the way up high. Mason Bistodeau stretches the advantage a little further, was 0.9 of a second ahead as he comes to the line this time for 2 laps to go. Murphy searching around, now moves down low. See if there's anything down on the bottom part of the racetrack. Colton Oaks in the 210 still working the outside. Waugh bangs off of the cushion. 3 and 4. White flag in the air for Bistodeau in that 022 machine. Nice and smooth down the back straightaway and through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Mason Bistodeau wins heat number 2. Jared Murphy, P2. Colton Oaks third. Mason Setting 4th, and Tate Waugh in the 5th spot in that 133 machine. All right, this is going to be feature 1. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup for our first 50-lap feature. On the front row, it's going to be Tyler Bickford and Mason Bistodeau. Row number 2 is going to be Robert Floyd and Jared Murphy. Row 3 is going to be A.J. Hunsinger and Colton Oaks. Row 4 is going to be James Murphy and Mason Setting. Row 5 is going to be Matt Pridgeon and Tate Waugh. $50 laps the distance in feature number 1. Get ready, folks. Buckle up. Tim, it's that time of the night. Who's going to be your driver to watch in feature 1?
Oh, geez. There's a lot of drivers that you can pick from. And you know what? I am going to pick Tyler Bickford for both features.
That's a great pick. Bickford's shown speed here throughout the season, starting up front here in feature number 1. I've got to go with the 65 of James Murphy. He's always strong. And he's going to have to make up some ground starting back there in the 8th spot in that 65 machine. Let us know in the chat who your driver to watch is tonight. We always enjoy seeing those messages come across the screen. All right, Tim, how about you get us going here to start feature 1?
Alrighty, that white, black, and blue and gold machine of Tyler Bickford's gonna fire. He gets a great launch over the rest of the field as they're side by side for second. That would be Robert Floyd and Mason Vistato, who are both elect to run the middle and high side. As you got AJ Hunsinger almost making it 3 wide for that position, and also Jared Murphy looking to take over a few spots here. As we got big contact, they save it. I don't know how. Mason Seddon was high up into the wall, it looks like, in the back, but we have Robert Floyd still holding on to second as he was turned sideways. Mason Vistato looking to get to the inside as AJ Hunsinger's looking to the inside of Mason.
Yeah, the top 3 single file for now. The battle is on for the 4th spot as Hunsinger all the way down on that concrete wall. The car got tight on the exit of 4. He had to gather it back up, and luckily didn't make any contact with the other drivers as he's going to continue to work the low side of the speedway. Jared Murphy works his way by around the outside. Brother James trying to follow through as now he's looking to the outside of Hunsinger in that 33 machine. Then you got Colton Oaks in the 210, Matt Pridgeon in the 14 right behind. Now single file for the top 4, and it's side by side for the 5th spot for now. Hunsinger completes the pass. Does he move up? No, going to stay committed to the middle part of the racetrack. Kind of surprising. Hunsinger is running the lowest. Now Bistodeau just in front moves down a lane and a half to see if there's anything there. Robert Floyd moving down a little bit as well in that 02 machine. Jared Murphy in the 64 just scrapes the outside wall through 3 and 4. Oh man, Hunsinger and James Murphy might have been slight contact into 1 and 2 as James Murphy actually got up into the outside wall just a little bit. Colton Oaks as well has to pull the car off the outside wall, and he loses a little bit of momentum and the spot to Pridgeon in the 14, back to P8 for Colton Oaks. Behind them, Tate Law, Mason setting side by side for the 9th and 10th positions. Quick check back up front, Tyler Bickford out to an 0.8 of a second advantage over second place running Robert Floyd. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all close together but single file. Still Tim side by side for the 9th spot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Tyler Bickford's stretching that gap as actually he lost a little bit of time right there. Of course, whenever I try and bring something up, but Mason Setting made contact to the inside wall. He has to relinquish that battle to Tate Lowe.
Yeah, and he couldn't get into the pit lane. He missed the entry to pit lane. Going to have to tow, unfortunately. We remain under green flag conditions, so unfortunately Mason Setting's going to end up laps down in this one.
I said whoa. I meant to say why.
Like you said, Bickford's advantage is shrinking ever so slightly as Robert Floyd has started cutting away at that advantage each lap ever so slightly. Mason Bistodeau holds on to 3rd for now, but Jared Murphy goes all the way up to the cushion to try to get a run built up to challenge. Then AJ Hunsinger and James Murphy kind of quiet up to this point. Just 16 laps complete, a long way to go in feature 1. Matt Pridgeon following closely behind James there in the 65. Then about 6 car lengths back to Colton Oaks in the 210. And another 5 or 6 back to Tate Waugh in the 133. Maybe the calm before the storm here, Tim, just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Floyd is closing in at a rapid pace, not an alarming pace, but I mean, he's definitely closing in just about a tenth or so a lap here. And I'm sure Bickford sees that on his relative. And
Uh-oh, we have one car that's blinked out. It was Mason Bistodeau, and he has returned, but he had a little bit of a connection issue for about a half a lap, and I'm sure that'd be Jared Murphy, was probably wondering where he was. Sorry to interrupt him.
no, you're all right. As Bickford and Floyd, their relative, they're actually running about the same or so lap, the last 2 laps, and that time Floyd was about a tenth faster, continuing to close the gap, as we're 3 wide, 2 wide for that 4th place position. Jared Murphy, AJ Hunsinger, and James Murphy were all just about 3 wide there out of 4, as James Murphy's trying to possibly get a 2-for-1, maybe a 3-for-1, trying to get all the way around the line there of Mason Bistodeau, Jared, and AJ Hunsinger on the outside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, James Murphy's put it all the way down on that inside concrete wall, and he is making up a little bit of ground down there. He's continuing to chew away at it, and I think he's going to clear Bistodeau out of turn 2 this time. He does. That puts him into the top 3 now. Now his brother Jared has moved down to follow him. AJ has also moved down a little bit to try to follow James through. Matt Pridgeon as well in the 14 machine. Mason Bistodeau, meanwhile, is staying committed up on the cushion as he bangs off of the outside wall in the middle of 3 and 4. Don't look now, Tim. James Murphy has found something down low, and he is chewing away at the leaders.
Yeah, possibly just kept his tires nice and cool and underneath them, not using them up or anything like that. And finally decided to turn it up halfway through the race and missing Bistodeau all over the rear end of James Murphy through 3 and 4 as they now work through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Floyd, he has caught up quite a bit to Bickford, is starting to apply the pressure to him. James Murphy, the past couple of laps, trying to eat away at the advantage to the top 2. Mason Bistodeau following closely behind there in the 4th spot. He's still working the outside part of the racetrack. Carried a ton of momentum into 1 and 2. Maybe trying to challenge James Murphy for the podium position here shortly. Meanwhile, we got a side-by-side battle just a little bit further back. Pridgeon and Colton Oaks was side-by-side. It looked like for a second, but Oaks holds on to the 7th spot for now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was quite a moment between AJ Hunsinger and Jared Murphy in the 64 as they're battling close side by side.
Wow. Can you go on board of James Murphy and just watch like the helmet cam or something like that? Just like watch how close he is to that inside wall.
This is on board with the driver of the 65, James Murphy. Show him, and he is super, super close to that inside wall, and he is caught up to Robert Floyd in the 0-2. Bickford is right there, of course, right in front of him. Just listen to how careful he is on throttle and with the steering inputs to run this super low line. That is something else. That is an art, folks. It's not easy to do. He makes it look easy, but it is not. I can assure you that. That was a couple laps on board with James Murphy in the 65 machine, as he is clearly to the inside of Robert Floyd for the 2nd spot with 11 laps to go in feature 1.
And if I'm Bickford, this is what I want to see, is them two battle it out. But James Murphy, just too quick around that bottom. He's going to have to hold James off for the next 10 laps. It's going to be tough to do. I haven't seen anyone quite roll that bottom just as good as James has tonight so far. As James is looking to the inside, he's going to get a runoff here. He's going to possibly get him out of 4 this time by, as it's going to be a drag race, and James Murphy didn't lead that lap.
That he did. Side by side into turn 3. Murphy moves up just a little bit. Bickford still holding the middle part of the racetrack down. 7 to go this time. There's a battle a little further back as well for the 5th and 6th spot. Jared Murphy, Colton Oaks, AJ Hunsinger was side by side. We don't want to take away from the battle for the lead. Tyler Bickford holding on for dear life through the middle part of the racetrack. Now drops right behind James Murphy. They're 1 and 2, and I think that might have hurt Bickford just a little bit. James Murphy, leader with 5 to go in feature 1.
Hey, well, you know what? There's going to be, I believe it's going to be an invert for feature number 2 here. We're going to see where these guys get placed. James Murphy already started in the back for this heat, or this feature, and he's going to have to do it from dead last, I think.
Absolutely. So James Murphy leads with 3 to go. We're looking at the battle for the 5th spot. AJ Hunsinger down on the inside. He moves past Jared Murphy in the 64 machine, puts him into the top 5. Jared Murphy trying to battle back on the outside. Mason Bissido holding on to the 4th spot. Robert Floyd there still in 3rd. James Murphy still working the extreme low line, takes the white flag here, and he's going to be nice and smooth through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4 for the final time in feature 1. James Murphy wins from 8th in feature 1. Tyler Bickford holds on for 2nd. 3rd goes to Robert Floyd. 4th to Mason Bissido. AJ Hunsinger holds on for 5th. Drag racing to the line. Jared Murphy beats out Matt Bridgen for 6th. Colton Oaks will be 8th. Tate Waugh 9th, and Mason Setting will be credited with the 10th position here to finish out feature number 1 here tonight. As 5 minutes go on the clock here for warm-up before we start feature number 2. And like you said, Tim, I believe we do have an invert starting grid from your finishing position in feature 1 here tonight. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. Folks, we're going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back to start feature number 2.
You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest-running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram. You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram. You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram. You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, everybody, welcome back into the Buckeye Racing Network. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Overbat, Premier Racing Setups, and Richard Murtaugh Racing Academy. Don't forget to use code Buckeye15 for 15% off an individual setup pack over at Premier Racing Setups. Try them today. All right, everybody, let's take a look at the starting lineup for feature race number 2. We do have that invert of finishing positions from feature number 1. So, starting on the front row is going to be Mason Setting and Tate Waugh. Row number 2 is going to be Colton Oakes and Matt Bridgen. Row 3 is going to be Jared Murphy and AJ Hunsinger. Row 4 is going to be Mason Bistodeau and Robert Floyd. Row number 5 is going to be Tyler Bickford and feature 1 winner James Murphy at the tail. Another 50 laps on the board. Wow, we should be in for something here, Tim. Got the invert. I know you're picking Bickford again in this. I've got my eye on James Murphy in the 65. They're starting in the final row. We should be in for a show here in these 50 laps.
Yeah, who needs the 97th running of the Oscars when you have Buckeye Racing Network tuned in for tonight?
Absolutely. I love that. You know what? That's perfect. Who needs the Oscars? Turn on Buckeye Racing Network. Be here, be square. Watch some dirt racing action with the League of Outlaws, IMCA style modified division. Folks, if that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what will. Wow. Field did get the 1-to-go signal. That's nothing but good news. Mason Setting's going to be in control as the pace truck peels off. I think somewhere here shortly. Yep, right there at the exit of turn 4. Mason Setting, Tate Waugh. We get the green flag for feature 2. We are green. Mason Setting's going to take the early advantage. Tate Waugh, Colton Oaks side by side for the second spot. Jared Murphy, Matt Bridgen side by side for third. Oh my goodness, Colton Oaks squeezed up the racetrack, almost made contact with Tate Waugh. Mason Setting's going to try to use that to his advantage as Matt Bridgen and Colton Oaks tag one another down the back straightaway, and I think Colton Oaks, heavy contact with the outside wall. We remain under the green for now. Colton Oaks has lost steering in that 210 machine. Hopefully he can get back into the pit area without towing. Back up front, Mason Setting still leads the way. Tate Waugh is second, Matt Bridgen third, and James Murphy already finds his way into the top 5 in the 65 machine. He's looking underneath Jared Murphy, and the yellow flag is displayed. And I believe that's going to be for Colton Oaks in that 210 machine, as he could not get to the pit lane. There. You see, he was slowly working around the racetrack. Car not wanting to turn. Here, and you can hear the field roaring around the I-55 Speedway behind him. Here comes the leaders, and he just tried to get into the pit area and finally did. That was enough for the yellow flag to come out, as he did not enter in the correct spot.
Hey, you know what? I tell you what, your pick moved up quite a bit of positions, but you know, guess who got really saved by this yellow was Tyler Bickford. He had not the greatest of starts. I think it looked like he got wicked loose as he tried to get going, and then just couldn't get any momentum built up after that. And finally, I believe we're green again.
Yes, we
I
are.
apologize.
Mason Setting, Tate Waugh get the green flag for the restart. Matt Bridgen looking to make quick work of Jared Murphy in the 64, and there's James Murphy in the 65 below both of them, as he's running a similar line as he was there in feature number 1. Mason Bissido there in the 022 machine trying to follow James Murphy through. There was a little contact, I believe Jared Murphy and Tate Waugh in the 33. 3 wide out of 4. Great racing the I-55 Speedway is putting on for us here tonight.
Almost looks like we're at Auto Club in the Truck Series here.
Yeah, as you can fan out 2, 3, almost 4 wide here, as the turns are wide enough and banked enough to do so. What a great battle for the 3rd spot right here, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, there's all the first 5, 6 cars can take over any position at any moment here, and it's we got one hard of the wall. I believe that was Bistido. I believe so. As he now elects to run it into the inside, he hits Floyd out of the way, and the Hunsinger looks to the inside of Floyd. That was for 6th place.
Those settled out for now. You move forward just a little bit. James Murphy still working the bottom. Still trying to get around Matt Bridgen in the 14. Jared Murphy trying to get around Tate Waugh in the 133. Mason Setting has not been able to run away. In fact, Tate Waugh with a great run down the front straightaway closed the advantage right up to the bumper. Mason Setting might be taking a peek to the outside here. Mason Setting kind of shut the door entering 1 to try to block off Tate Waugh's run. Something's telling me, Tim, these front few are definitely abusing the rear tire early on in this one.
You could say that, but I believe, you know, I think everyone's abusing the tire right now. I mean, you look at James. I mean, he started dead last. He's all the way up to 5th, and you can't pick up spots without being aggressive. And you certainly gotta plot your way around. But like you were saying, and you did an A race at Coda. You said the rear tires ended up getting shot, or they felt that way, and you know, everyone's gonna use them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these drivers definitely look like they are. As side by side, Jared Murphy, Tate Waugh for the second spot. They're right there behind Mason Setting, and Mason Setting makes one mistake. It's going to be a three-wide battle for the top spot. Matt Pridgeon still holds on to the fourth spot over James Murphy in fifth. Then Mason Bistodeau sixth, Robert Floyd seventh, AJ Hunsinger in eighth. Tyler Bickford ninth, has not been able to move up much, and Colton Oaks in the 210 a lap down.
Hey, you know what? What a great run for this second heat for Mason Setting. I'm sorry, not his heat. His first main, he lost the front left tire, I think it was. He's out here, he's led the first 22 laps, and Tate Waugh, he finished ninth, and he's sitting in second still.
Absolutely, it's a great recovery and showing for Setting and Waugh here in the second feature as Jared Murphy is bearing down now on the top two as he's to the inside of Waugh, and Matt Pridgeon might be looking to make it three wide.
Five cars just trying to get to the lead. As Pridgeon gets a little loose there, he walks up the track. He still holds on to that fourth place position over James Murphy. Tate Waugh still running that outside. That cushion is just paying off for him. But you got to wonder if it's going to there's going to be a toll on that.
I would think after a certain amount of time, as we are past the halfway point here, and Jared Murphy looks like he is going to complete the pass on Tate Waugh for the second spot. And does Matt Pridgeon's going to be looking to the inside of Waugh for a podium position in feature number 2. James Murphy just biding his time in the fifth spot, running through the middle part of the racetrack. I do like what Mason Setting's doing, though, Tim. He's not being too flashy, keeping the car down low, taking care of the tire. It looks like as best he can.
Yeah, it's and Jared Murphy looks like he's just able to get through the entry so much better. They're just throwing it in there. But you gotta wonder. I mean, he's able to get a run on the exits when he through 3 and 4. Mason Setting just shuts the door on the exit right there. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it again. Not quite, but they're still running extremely quick lap times, 14 threes, 14 fours. Jared Murphy was actually a top quicker of the two. As James looks to the inside of Matt Pridgeon.
Yeah, I think James said it is go time, and he is starting to put the pedal down a little bit harder, as there is an issue back there in 7th, 8th. Robert Floyd was stuck on the outside wall, I think, for a moment. Go back and take a look at exactly what happened back here. Keep an eye on the O2 machine. You see him there to the inside of Bistodeau in the 22. Working down the back straightaway into turn 3 will slow things down. Bistodeau and Floyd kind of get tangled up together. Both cars get sideways entering 3. AJ Hunsinger trying to avoid Colton Oaks, trying to avoid Bickford, nowhere to go. He kind of piles in, so Bistodeau, Hunsinger, Oaks, Floyd, and Bickford all with damage in this one. As you see, the left front completely broke on the O2 machine of Robert Floyd. There, that brings the second caution flag out. Bickford also going to have to visit the work area as well. As the yellow flag was displayed, Jared Murphy in the 64 machine is our new leader, and Mason Setting is in the second spot. Then you have Tate Waugh, position 3, James Murphy 4th, Matt Bridgen 5th. That's your top 5. As Colton Oaks going to get his lap back and rejoin the field in the 9th spot. Robert Floyd, unfortunately, still in the work area after the accident. The lights are out. Tim, get us going for the start.
Alrighty. We're going to get going. These drivers are going to get aggressive. And Jared Murphy is off and away as Mason Setting looks to the outside. James Murphy is right there. Mason all the way down to the bottom. They cross over. Jared and Mason, they swap positions on the track here. As one goes high, one goes low.
Absolutely, they're still side by side for the lead, but Jared Murphy with the run on the outside prevails into turn 1. James Murphy trying to follow his brother through on the outside. Contact a little further back. Mason Bistodeau, Colton Oaks, Robert Floyd, and who is that? Bickford into the outside wall. I think he's lost steering. Will he be able to get back to the pit area? We'll go back and check to the battle up front as we're still under green flag conditions. Mason Setting still using the bottom part of the racetrack to try to make up ground down there. AJ Hunsinger in the 33 down low as well. Matt Bridgen trying to find himself in a podium position as we're nearing 10 laps to go in feature 2 already.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, some of these guys had a rough main number one, and they got some good points coming their way this time around. Is especially Mason Setting. He's gonna look to hold on to that 3rd place spot as AJ Hunsinger and Bridgen are battling forward.
Absolutely, Hunsinger trying to use the inside to his advantage, and he does pass Bridgen, move AJ into the 4th spot. Bridgen back to 5th. James Murphy starting to move down just a little bit lower, chasing his brother Jared. Seven laps to go now here in feature 2. Oh, we're 3 wide back here. Bistodeau, Floyd, and Waugh. Waugh gets up to the outside wall. Bistodeau makes contact with him. Bistodeau into the 6th spot. Waugh back to 7th, and Floyd in position 8, trying to get around Waugh. So we'll move back up in the field.
I'll tell you what, Mason Bistodeau is not making any friends out there. He's gotten those elbows out quite a few times tonight as he tries to hold on to that 6th place position.
Yeah, Robert Floyd looking underneath Tate Waugh for the 7th spot as well, just behind him.
Whoa, my goodness.
Very, very close racing back here. Quick peek up front as we're already got 3 laps to go, and the battle for the lead is heating up. The Murphy brothers, 1 and 2. James looking to try something down low. Jared running the outside line. He's making a little bit of contact with the outside wall. The tail was slung wide out of turn 4. Jared Murphy is letting it all hang out here in the final couple of laps. Mason Setting is right there. Once again, white flag waving one more time around in feature 2. What's going to happen here? James Murphy staying committed down low. Jared's going to have a good corner. Does he play defensive or run way up high? No, he's going to run up high. He makes contact with the wall. Setting is there as well to the line. Jared Murphy holds on. James Murphy will be 2nd, and Mason Setting with a miracle effort. He tried something there. Rounds out the podium in that 110 machine. What a finish You couldn't find something that exciting on the Oscars tonight, folks. We had it here for you on the Buckeye Racing Network. Wow, what a finish for our top three.
Oscars, what? Who cares about that? Get that out of here.
Absolutely, what a finish here with the League of Outlaws tonight. We're going to get our interviews started here tonight. We're going to start things off talking to Mason Setting in the 110. Mason, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, Mason, feature one didn't treat you that well as you weren't able to work your way through the field, but we had the inverted start for feature two. You started up front. You led a bunch in feature two and then battled right there in the top three and tried something there on the final lap, and we had a 3-wide finish coming to the checkered flag. What a night and a great effort from you.
Yeah, I tried to use a new tire, use save my tires, but I used my line a little too hard and let James and Jared by and decided to change the lineup and worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah, absolutely. They got by you, but once they did, you held on right there as close as you could to him, and was able to try to make a move in the final lap. What was it about? Was it just having that track position in feature two that made the difference for you, where you could run up front and kind of pick and choose where you wanted to be on the racetrack?
Yeah, it was yeah, I didn't like you said, I didn't really have a good finish in feature one, and that's kind of set me up for a good finish in feature two, and yeah.
Absolutely, it sure did. Tim.
Yeah, I got two separate questions. How are you feeling knowing that you had a great bounce back tonight? Obviously you had the nightmare of feature one, and then finish in third for feature two, and then what was going through your mind is you came out of a last turn and you seen the checkered flag possibly could have been yours.
Yeah, I was just trying to hold that third and final podium position. Really didn't know where Matt was running. Just trying to keep him, AJ, keep him behind me, and trying to just keep a steady line going.
Yeah, for sure, Mason. A fantastic effort from you here tonight. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, AJ and League of Outlaws, Ty Dickinson for the rap, and my mom and dad.
Awesome, Mason. Well, again, we certainly appreciate you getting a word in with us here tonight. We'll let you celebrate your top three.
Thank you.
All right, that was our third place finisher, Mason Setting. Now we'll talk to our second place finisher and feature one winner, James Murphy. Hey, James, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Wow, what a night for you, bud, as you didn't have the best of heats and you had to start in P8 in feature one and raced your way up through the field. Use that extreme low line really to your advantage in feature one, and you came away with a checkered flag there. Then, of course, the invert to start feature number two. You had to start shotgun on the field and worked your way up into a podium position in the second spot. Tell us about it. It didn't seem like the extreme low line worked as well, though, in feature two.
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble in the heat racing. I started in the back, and I was talking with AJ in Discord. I was asking, was there anything they can do for hard chargers? And I started lasting both these deals, but I got tired of riding behind them in the first one, so I just every time I tried to get on run on the top, they'd close the hole. So nobody was trying the very bottom, so I went down there and started sending it and found a lot of traction. So I was able to pick them off one by one, and luckily I didn't show it to nobody fast enough for them to react, so they couldn't block me. So I was just able to go up there slowly and able to win it. And same thing with this one. I tried to get to the front fast as possible while everybody was bunched up, and I tried the bottom, but I think they had just too much grip in the middle and the top for it to be fast. So I kind of just rode and picked my opportunities and was able to get in the second right there. So I'll take that. I was racing really good. I think that was a really good finish at the line.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys were actually 3 wide as you were to the inside of your brother, and Mason Setting was taking a peek to the inside of you. Was a fantastic finish for us up here in the booth and everybody watching at home. Tim, do you have anything?
Yeah, what was you were talking about the inside line, but uh I had Bentley go on board. What was where were your markers to hit that inside line? Did you did you know that you could run there as well as you did going into tonight?
Well, I did a money race here last week, and I worked on that a little bit, and I didn't know it was gonna be that good, but I was just going in there and aiming for the wall, basically. Just trying to get as close as I could and get my left rear down in a good grip, and it was really working.
Yeah, absolutely. It sure did, James. Before we let you go tonight, anybody you need to thank?
Thank y'all for the awesome broadcast. Everybody with the League of Outlaws, AJ Hunsinger for the rap, Talking Dirt, and Third Party Gaming, and Dark Horse Speed Shop.
All right, James, another fantastic effort for you here tonight. We'll let you celebrate the top 3.
Thank y'all.
All right, let's talk to our Feature 2 winner, Mr. Jared Murphy. Hey, Jared, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a night. 2 features. You were battling, there in Feature 1 inside the top 5 and came away with a good finish there. And Feature 2 started about in the top 5, 6 positions there and just kind of worked your way forward. Got around Tate Waugh, Mason Setting, and found your way to the lead and held on to it. And wow, what a finish at the line. You guys were actually 3 wide, and you were able to come home with a checkered flag in Feature 2. What a night.
Yeah, I had a blast tonight. I fortunately I got the worst end of the stick when it come to the draw. I sort of dead last in the second heat race, but I drove up to second there, and in the first main I just didn't feel very good. I don't know what was going on, but I was just kind of out there riding around, and when I knew I started fourth in the second one, I knew I got to ride right here and keep the car clean. And whoever gets past these, I'm not saying they were slow people, but I mean, they didn't win the first one, so I mean, they was a little slower. But it was whoever got by them the first was going to probably win the race. And so I just rode and kept the car clean, and I got by one, and that allowed me to move up and trying to sell some T-shirts up there on the top, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you sold a few with that effort here in Feature 2 tonight. Tim.
Yeah, Jared, what was going through your mind going into 3 and 4? You left the door wide open. You got up into the wall. I mean, it was a finish as dramatic as a Will Smith smack at the Oscars. What was going through your head when all that was going on?
Yeah, I got a decent run off of turn 2, and I'm going down the back stretch. I'm thinking, just don't step on it, you idiot. And went down there and stepped on it. Luckily, I didn't hit it hard enough to mess everything up. So it was I'm glad I had a good finish there. It's been a long time since I won a race in this league, and it feels good to win another one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time coming for you, Jared. And before we let you go tonight, who do you need to thank?
I'd like to thank all y'all for these awesome broadcasts. Everybody with the League of Outlaws for all their hard work. AJ Hunsinger for my rap, and Talking Dirt.
All right, Jared. Well, we'll let you step aside after getting a word in here with us, celebrate the victory.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, that's going to conclude our interview portions of tonight's events, the double features at I-55. Wow, Tim, what a night! I know we were talking about it in the at the end of the race and in the interviews there, but fantastic running from everybody in the League of Outlaws tonight.
Yeah, just an awesome race. Well, what do you need the Oscars for when you got the Buckeye Racing Network? Tune in next time, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do have a nice schedule this week, as I said tonight, we are live with the League of Outlaws. Tomorrow night, we're going to pick up the action with Regal Promotions Esports and the 360 Sprint Cars, getting their 2025 season underway. We'll be at the Volusia Speedway for night number 1. We'll be live about 8:15 Eastern tomorrow night. And on Tuesday night, we have the Southern Racing Association Pro Late Model Division. They're going to be at the Eldora Speedway on Tuesday night, and that's going to be about 8:30 Eastern Time. Start for that broadcast. Again, folks, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so know each and every time we go live right here on the Buckeye Racing Network. But that's going to do it for us tonight from the I-55 Speedway. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.